Let's just wait for 3 more seconds so we get the low attention, low IQs out of here. You know, I'm Swiss.
Swiss custom requires 10 minutes of blah blah blah.
Chit chat.
Yeah, chit chat, thank you, before business can be discussed.
And at some point, I was broke, which is an oxymoron, because there is no such thing as broke Swiss people. So I got to work, and within 50 days, I got to 10k per month. Life was cool, but I wasn't satisfied. So 98 days later, I got to 20k per month. Life was a bit more cool. But man, let's be honest, 150 days is a lot. It would be the same as walking from Lisbon, Portugal to the border of China and back. I could have done that and meet lots of cool people, but instead I struggled to create systems to get me to those results. And by the way, it all came from me providing traffic and sales to my clients. Now I'm going to break them all down for you so you don't need to struggle for 150 days, and I'm gonna show you why it's even easier now in 2024. So for the first 50 days from 0 to 10k, here's what I did. It all came down to 3 steps: clarify, contact, and close. With the clarify steps, it was all about making sure I figure out what inefficiency I wanted to solve. All right. And within content creation, which was my agency, there was short form content, podcast clips, content distribution, TikTok creativity program, being an expert of one platform, for example, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and scientific thumbnail title. What I mean by this is that, I get a lot of DMs of these guys that do thumbnail and title, and they just send their artwork, the thumbnail they design on Canva. Nobody gives a shit about this, all right? If you're an entrepreneur and you have a business that you run with your audience, you don't care if it's beautiful. The beginners care about this. They care about click-through rate. That's what they care about. And that's what I care about. That's a good idea, by the way, if you can be a scientific thumbnail and title editor, which means that you actually create thumbnails for channels. You send them a thumbnail for free, and then you just ask them to give you a review of the stats 1 month after. All right, and if you can prove that you get to add, let's say 2 to 5% CTR on the same video that they uploaded, then you're instantly in the top 1% of thumbnail designers. All right, well, that's just some advice. The thing you want to really figure out is what inefficiency you solve. And that's what I did when I got started. I needed to find a way to tell they needed it without asking them, all right? And that's very important. You need to find a way to tell that they need this. They need the outcome of this here. And the way I did it, well, there's a lot of ways you can do it. I would target people on YouTube, because on YouTube you get to have a lot of data and information about the influencers or YouTubers or entrepreneurs using YouTube. You get to see whether they use shorts. You get to see their other links, all right? Most of the time, they put the links in their bio, links to Instagram, their email list, their website, their product, coaching program, whatever. You get to have a lot of information. And that was a good way to start and ways to contact them, all right? The second part of it was contact. And by contact, it was about contacting those people who needed my services. And the way I would do it is I would spend some time scraping leads, so scraping ways to contact those people through emails. I was mainly focused on cold email, but anything could work. I closed some clients with emails, Instagram DMs, and Telegram DMs as well. And then I would create a outreach habit, all right? You need to design systems to win. All right, it's not just about sending some emails and just waiting that you get a client. And so the habit I had, well, I had 2 of them actually. The first one was the sniper outreach method, which is searching for the perfect leads with the data I could gather, and I would target 5 to 10 a day. All right, I would send an email sequence to 5 to 10 people a day, and the messages I would send were very specific. I would try to really analyze all the profiles, and the way I would start, which is easier for you as well, is I would just have a look at my subscriptions. I would just have a look at the people I already follow, because I have the unfair advantage to know them for years through social media, And so I can better have a grasp of what they need and how they evolved, all right? So that's how I would start. But then on the other side, I didn't do this at the same time, but yeah, you have the massive way, which is you scrape a lot of leads. The quality is a bit lower, but you get to have a lot of results with this, all right? I would send 50 to 100 emails a day for some periods, and I would get a lot of clients with that. But it's best to start with the sniper way so that you get to know what sequence works the best, and then you can automate it, make it a bit more general, and use it with the massive outreach way, all right? And whenever they replied, I would send looms, just like the video I'm recording now. This is on loom.com. I would just analyze their page, their social media, their inefficiencies, all right? Just like I mentioned here. And I would just tell them how they could make it better, all right? Even without me. Like the loom was just 10 minutes. It had a lot of value. They could use it for themselves. So by doing so, they had an interest to dive deeper with me on a call, all right? Because I built rapport. I showed why I cared about their brand, and I gave them a glimpse of the ROI they could experience with me. Next step is the closing step. So the last step for this roadmap from 0 to 10K per month in 50 days. And so the way I would close them, actually there was a lot of ways, but the more classical one was to just hop in a call, give them some more value and show them how they could experience the ROI they were searching for, which meant more views or more leads or more sales, basically. And so I would close them on a call and send them the invoice, or I would do that through emails or DMs. Actually, I closed some people through emails and DMs. Now it's a bit more tricky. You need to send a bit more loom so that they can see your face, and you always have to lead with value and proof that your system works, all right? Even if you don't have results yet, you better do a strong case study of someone else who's using the same thing as you do. And what you can do to make the sale easier is to guarantee inputs, all right? Because it's hard to guarantee results. Like you can't easily guarantee results like, all right, I'm gonna make you 20K per month in a month, or you don't pay, or whatever, blah, blah, blah. You know, people don't fall for it. They're not idiots. So the best thing to make sure that you actually deliver on your promise and you over deliver on it is to guarantee inputs. And you want to guarantee inputs that makes it unreasonable to reach the outputs that your clients want. For example, let's say he wants more leads. Then what do you need to get more leads? You need to get eyeballs. You need to get people exposed to an offer, all right? And so what you can guarantee to generate those results is a certain amount of videos, certain amount of shorts per month, a certain amount of clips, of long form content, of email, of cold email campaigns, whatever. And so that's something you can actually guarantee. You can be confident in making 30 shorts per month and 10 long form videos per month. You can be confident in this, all right? So yeah, so that was the whole path from 0 to 10K per month in 50 days. But then, as I told you, I wasn't satisfied. Of course, 10K is nothing. And so I wanted to go from 10K to 20K. And that's the path I took. So within those 98 days, here's what happened. All right. Surprisingly, nothing really new. All right. The same exact steps. The main thing is that I would do them more and better. That was it. Now I will go more in detail, of course. So for the clarify phase, well, the whole, let's say, fulfillment phase, I would figure out who is benefiting the most from my solution. And then I would automate and delegate these solutions for them. And the way I would do this is I would upload my intelligence, all right, my IQ, into tools instead of always relying on my brains and my efforts, all right? And I would make sure that those systems are dumbass friendly. And that's very important, because whenever you hire people, you invite chaos. And with chaos, anxiety comes, your results are crashing. So you want to make sure that your systems are strong, because you know the saying, you don't rise to the level of your goals, you fall down to the levels of your systems. All right, that's what I mean by this. And so one of the systems I've developed is for example, a master calendar. All right. By the way, you can get access to this link in description. All right, it's a system that I've used for years to deliver video editing content, all about creatives. All right, and so this system essentially, it's a Notion template actually, so very easy to duplicate if you want it. It would include the whole process to find the clips. In the case of short form content, we would repurpose long form content into shorts, and so there were the whole guidelines which are specified here to make a lot of views with shorts. Everything was included concerning the clips, and then how to download them, how to send them to the editor, for the editor to edit the videos, what were the guidelines to edit them in a way that's gonna make it viral. And then we had a system so that the chief editor could review the edits, and then the whole guidelines to upload them on socials and track that everything is happening smoothly. All right, that was the system. And essentially this whole system allowed my chief editor to be a leveraged operations manager. That's what you want, all right? Or even if it's you that's in charge of your operations, you want to be leveraged. You want to have a jetpack, just like CJ here, all right? Because otherwise you essentially have a job. You're just exchanging your hours for money. But whenever you scale, you gotta make sure that the quality stays high, because otherwise, what's the advantage of your clients to work with you when they could work with just an individual that provides better results? All right, you need to make your agency or your company make sense. Otherwise, they would just choose to work with freelancers, and sometimes freelancers or solopreneurs are better than whole agencies with a lot of people. But I'm going to show you why you don't need to hire much humans now that AI is fully developed in 2024. All right. So next step, I would do more and better of the contact phase. All right. The acquisition phase. And the way I would do this again is to upload my intelligence in my systems and create the improved lead collection. So essentially the acquisition process was to hire VAs, and they would go and scrape those leads just like I did when I got started. And basically that's that. They would add those leads in a sheet, and then I would add them on my emailing software, Lemlist, instantly, whatever, doesn't matter. But the problem is, if you just tell your VAs to go and search for leads and you just give them some criteria, they're not really incentivized to do great work. And even if they're incentivized and you give them bonuses, the quality of work is gonna decrease, all right? And so I designed a Google Sheet, so that's the system, that would make sure that they would look for the right criteria, essentially stuff that's easily found on the YouTube pages or any social media of the people we were targeting. And my system here had formulas, by the way, that were done by ChatGPT, so all sourced by AI, and it would check whether the lead was a duplicate, because I would have a lot of different sheets so that I could make a lot of people work on them. You would check if the lead is a duplicate and if it's valid according to those criteria here. Essentially, I would check the frequency of their uploads and some other stuff, but the most important one, because I was targeting entrepreneurs, so business owners that would use their audience to sell their product, I would force them to check if they had a product, a website with a coaching program or whatever, so that I could force them to select the right leads. And if they didn't, then it would count as invalid and they wouldn't get paid, because they were paid by the valid leads they could find. And this system brought me a lot of results, all right? Even within a week, when I started using this system, I just made 11K in a week. And then I even had to stop, as you can see here, because I had too much volume, and I didn't have the delivery systems to make sure that all of the clients had the best quality of service. So I had to stop it and then scale it later. But yeah, just to say that you gotta force them to find the right ones. And by the way, this is something that you can get your hands on. It includes a ready to post job offers, a seamless virtual assistant onboarding, which means that there's a Notion template where you have tests, because you need to test the VAs before you onboard them in your team. And then this advanced Google Sheet CRM that will make sure that you get the right leads. You just need to customize to your own criteria, as well as a cold email sequence that got me those results here. All right, it's all included in this thing that you can find in the description. All right, so that was for the acquisition part within the journey from 10K to 20K per month. The last part, closing part, well, that was quite the same, to be honest. I just made better scripts, better sales scripts. I had better incentives for my clients and better guarantees because I had more results, so I was more confident and I could charge more, and everything was getting better. All right. So that was it for the whole process. Essentially the same, because between 10K and 20K, it's not that much of a difference. You just need to do more of those things and you need to make them better. That's it. Now guys, this process took me 150 days. And now that we're in 2024 and that AI made a lot of progress, you can do all of this way faster and way easier. You don't need incompetent editors and you don't need VAs to do the outreach, all right? It's cool to have them, but you don't even need them. You can really run your business as a one-man content operator. That's it. And the way to do that, for example, what I use now, because I've improved my system, of course, is, for example, on the delivery part of things, with the shorts examples, I use a software called SendShort, so sendshort.ai, which essentially allows me to do the whole process of selecting the shorts from long form content, from YouTube URLs, putting them in the software, add subtitles, just like this, and add B-rolls, emojis. You can even add songs here, and you can schedule them on social media. And there's a lot of tools like this. It's not the only one, but this one is working well. So just to say, there's a lot of ways you can just leverage tools, because with AI tools developing as fast as we can see them now, you get to have the power of a whole team just with tech. You really don't need a lot of people when you have all of those technologies. You want to be leverage, all right? Just like CJ here. You want to have maybe a business partner and you both have a jetpack. That's why you want to have. It's less complicated and you get to have a lot of results. When it comes to acquisition, you can scrape internet clusters, so groups, Facebook groups, school communities, LinkedIn, Apollo, podcast, YouTube, Instagram. That's the same as usual. But again, you have a lot of tools that make it way easier to write your sequence, to find your leads, to target them. And so, yeah, you have everything you need now to really move as fast as possible. What you need to remember, though, is that I believe in something. Listen, I have a philosophy that AI will make it super easy to get success. All right, let's say that's success and that's easiness. It will make it super easy over the years. Right now it's 2024, but at some point it will make it impossible forever. What I mean by this is that all these tools, they replace people. Right now, they only replace B players, average people, all right? This is why you don't need to work with incompetent people, because now you have the software. But at some point, it will replace, it might replace you, all right? It might replace me as well. But I believe that if you become an A player, a winner, because, the market will become more and more of a winner-takes-all market. And you can't afford to just be a simple editor or a commoditized SFC agency, video editing business, or any kind of service, even ads, whatever. You really need to be in the top 0.1%. And you need to design the systems for that. You need to be leveraged, because coaches or consultants or all those businesses, they won't need to have editors to do their videos, because they're going to rely on tools. It's going to be cheaper. They're not going to have a headache because the quality of your work is decreasing. And yeah, so that's the thing. You need those tools, you need those systems, you need to improve on them. Now guys, if you don't want to go through the 150 days I went through to design all of these systems, all of these tools, well, you can get access to them with the link in the description. All right, contentoperators.com. Just click in the link, have a look, and get access to those tools. Make your life easier. Thanks for your time.